I'm Brian Bazemore, President and CEO of Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County. We would like to invite you to come by and experience a welcoming banking environment. Come by today and have a cup of coffee and let us talk with you about our many products, savings accounts, checking accounts, CDs, and our many loans. You're more than just a number to us, you're family. Come by today, Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
At Dublin Chevy GMC, we have shipments arriving daily. Whether it's Silverados, Yukons, or Tahoes, we have the ride for you. As a matter of fact, I'm doing everything I can to get the trucks ready for you. Whether it's a Blazer or a Terrain or any other crossover, we have the Chevy or GMC for you. And with rates as low as 2.99 on new Silverados, there's never a better time to buy. And remember, Don sells cars well, only at Dublin Chevrolet.
We got a great program planned for you today. We got a great sponsor today, KMAE Securities. Mr. Kenneth Simmons is with us, and we'll hear from him in just a few minutes. But before we go any further in our program, we're going to return thanks for the meal that we've had and thank the Lord for this beautiful new day. So if you would, bow and pray with me. Father, we thank you so much for a new day of life that you've given us today. We thank you again for a great community to live, to learn, to work, and play in. And thank you, Lord, for bringing us here to have fellowship with one another, but most importantly, for you being here among us. Thank you for the meal that's been provided today. Bless it to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to your service. In Christ's name, amen. Amen. If you would, join me now in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. At this point in our breakfast, normally I would have Mr. Roger Miller, our Chamber Board Chair, come up, but we have a very special presentation to start our program today. So I'm going to ask Callie White with Georgia First Bank to come up and make this presentation.
I am Callie White with Georgia First Bank, and we are excited to now have our Dublin location open at 1303 Bellevue. We are want to take a moment to thank everyone who was able to come to our ribbon cutting. And if you weren't able to make the ribbon cutting, then we invite you to please stop by and just have a visit with us, see if there's anything we can help you with. So this morning, or this year, we are pleased to be partnering with the Chamber on the Ambassador Program. So, having been an ambassador myself, I know the value that this program brings to the Chamber, and that the value that it adds to all of our members as well. Being a Chamber ambassador is not an easy task. It requires someone who's willing to take the time out of their already full schedule to meet with members, attend events, and talk with people that are potential members of the Chamber about the benefits of being a Chamber member. So this morning we want to recognize our Ambassador of the Quarter. The person that has been selected as the Ambassador of the Quarter is someone who has diligently worked alongside the Chamber staff, assisting with event setup, check-in, and is always willing to go the extra mile on their ambassador duties. You may recognize this person from their many years as an ambassador or from their service to the community on the St. Patrick's Festival Committee, or maybe even from their role at their current job. This person truly has a servant's heart and is always willing to help in any way that's needed. It is with great honor and my absolute delight that I announce the Ambassador of the Quarter is Mary Beth Turner with State Broadcasting.
All right, boys, if you want to go to college, you have to clear out another one of these.
What if we told you there was a better way to save for your kids' college than pickle jars? Morris Bank's Savings Builder account and Moolah makes saving for your kids' college easier than ever. All you have to do is connect the account to your debit card, where it automatically rounds up your purchases to the nearest dollar. depositing that spare change into a moolah account where it will grow into a nice little nest egg for whatever your kids have their sights set on.
Hey, I got bad reception, but the boys did such a great job letting our friends know about the chip shortage and ordering their vehicles. Now I just need the vehicles to come in. I don't want to end up with pie in my face.
I want pie in my face.
Lost them.
Wow, look at all the new vehicles.
Ordering works after all.
You got pie now.
Others call you customers?
We call you friends.
That's Dublin Ford Lincoln.
I'm Heath Richter, and we just want to invite everybody to come on down to the Houston Clinic and check us out at our new facility. We've been in Dublin for a while now, obviously, but have a new office here, and we'd just like you to come down and see some of the new stuff we're offering. And if you need to get checked out, we'd be glad to do that for you. We've got able to do some ultrasound-guided injections now, and physical therapy, and just a little bit better space, so hopefully we can get you in and out of here a little bit quicker.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
And welcome to the first Friday breakfast on the second Friday of the month. So glad y'all were able to keep that in mind and perspective as we adjusted for this month for Good Friday being last week. Mary Beth, I know that you've done a lot of behind the scenes work on many things, chamber included, but other things as well, and that's greatly deserved. Thank you for doing that. And Callie, thank you for your prior service as an ambassador for the chamber as well. We've got a good program this morning. I want to go ahead and thank our sponsor. Heath has already done so. K. May, he pronounces it K. May, and that's Kenny Simmons with K. May Securities. And we also appreciate the breakfast by Cracker Barrel. This morning we're going to do something in usual fashion. We're going to ask these three folks to come on up. This is going to be Josh Powell with City Talk. Jennifer Bryant's going to do our chamber talk, and then Kenny will come in after that and do the word from the sponsor. I'll come back up and introduce our speaker in just a few, but if y'all will just come in that order, one behind the other, that would be great. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Josh Powell, the city manager for the city of Dublin, and we've had a lot of things going on. I don't think I've been to a first Friday breakfast or third Friday breakfast since January, so there's a lot that's happened. But one thing I do want to tell you about is the city has engaged a company to help us with a parks master plan, and they are in the very beginning stages of that process, and it's going to involve a lot of input from the community. So if you'll check out our social media website, we've got some surveys out there to get some input from everybody in the community. If you see those, if you'll share them, particularly with people who utilize city parks. We are trying to come up with a plan that we can implement in the coming years and budget money for to do some capital improvements within the parks to make our community a better place. We just last week had a great first of what I hope are many events in the community where we had a local community event and had a lot of participation in what the mayor and council have named Unity Point, which is right there on Highway 19 South across from Paula's Fried Chicken. It's a piece of property that the city's owned, and there's been a lot of just volunteerism in that area. The community has really put a lot of effort into it and donated some time and energy into that little parcel of land there. And so we've had a flag installed, lighting, a fountain's been installed, and now some signage has been put up. And also last week we involved a lot of the youth in the area to come and paint a mural on the roadway there. So it's a really neat little spot there that is a point of pride for that section of town and the community. And we hope to spread that across citywide and are looking forward to spreading that kind of activity throughout the city. We have bids out now for Emory Thomas Auditorium, which is an auditorium down at the Riverview Golf Course. That is available for lease for events, and we're going to be doing some major renovations there and are looking forward to that. And then, I don't know if you've been to City Hall lately, but since the last time I was here, we had a little bit of a water leak issue, which has pushed some renovations at City Hall to the forefront, so we're working through that now. Just be patient with us as you come in. The building doesn't look the best, but we're working on getting that renovated. And I just want to take a moment to, now that we're finished with all of the St. Patrick's festivities, many, many thanks to those who participated in the success of St. Patrick's 2023. The St. Patrick's Festival Committee, you guys always do a great job. And many thanks to all the businesses, all of you in the room who participate and support and contribute to that event. We couldn't do it without you. And of course, thank you to all the city staff for pulling that off as well on our end. But thank y'all for having me this morning.
The Chamber of Commerce has a lot of great things going on, so be sure to always check out social media and your email, because I know Paige and Malia do a great job getting the word out as well. But Women in Business, building strong teams, how great leaders inspire and motivate, that is coming up on May the 3rd. From 11:30 to 1 here at the King Center. That is sponsored again by Miller & Company and West Rock. The guest speaker for that event is Jana Dyke. She is the president CEO of Albany-Daltrey County Economic Development Commission, and registration is open and available online for that event. I already have my ticket and I'm very excited about it. We also have the post-legislative update coming up in the state of the community. That is Wednesday, May the 10th from 11:30 to 1, again here at the King Center. That is sponsored by Altamaha EMC and Oconee EMC. Our guest speakers for that event are Senator Larry Walker, State Representative Matt Hatchett, Joshua Kite, and Brian Rogers. Registration again is open online, so we want you to come out, and I know that we're also going to have a great lunch for that. The 3rd annual Ladies' Day of Golf, we had a great time with that last year, so we hope that we'll have good participation this year, but it's July the 26th at the Dublin Country Club. The title sponsor for that is Nichols Cawley and Associates, and again, registration is open, and you can access that event as well as all these events that I mentioned this morning on the Chamber website. So we hope that you'll come out and participate with these events with us, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Good morning. I'm Kenny Simmons with KMA Securities. We're a small security company. We relocated here last year in July, and we joined the Chamber earlier this year. And I just want to say that I'm excited about sponsoring today's event. I hadn't been in the community that much, and this has been a great morning, meeting some great people. We specialize in business solutions for security, more than residential. We spent most of our time in the last 3 years doing larger commercial, small businesses, industry, and projects for property management companies. So we have the experience. I also left a 15-year law enforcement career to do this because I wanted to do something a little bit more preventative than showing up after the disaster happened. So y'all have my contact information. Even if it's a simple question, I can give you some advice from the law enforcement standpoint. Something as simple as putting reflective tint on a window to keep people from seeing in. We've done that for a customer. We didn't benefit from the advice. So just use this for that, even if nothing else. But I'm Kenny with KMA Securities, and it was a pleasure this morning. Thank you.
From humble beginnings with a desire to serve the Dudley community, Bank of Dudley has grown to 5 locations, serving Lawrence, Twiggs, and surrounding counties. Serving our community since 1905, the Bank of Dudley is looking forward to its 2nd century of community banking. Drop in today to any of our 5 locations: Jeffersonville, Dudley, East Dublin, Veterans Boulevard, and downtown Dublin. Bank of Dudley, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dustin Gay. I'm a local orthopedic surgeon with Houston Clinic Orthopedics, and we'd really like to invite everybody to come out to our new office facility to take a look at it. It's a larger space with physical therapy, and we're just excited to have it, and we'd love for people to come out and visit us.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense.
Ask Curry Maffett Insurance in Dublin if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Thank you guys for that, and want to introduce our topic, or our speaker for the day. And I don't think he really needs an introduction. He normally speaks here on First Fridays, but we want to give Trey Taylor, a local county resident, to the opportunity to kind of tell us what's going on with the Lawrence County Commissioners and the projects for this year and the progress being made.
I'm like Trey Taylor, only I'm different. I'm Trey Kemp. When Heath asked me to, sorry, Roger. When Heath asked me to speak today, I figured I would give you guys a little bit of a baseline knowledge on things that I'm talking about. A lot of people ask me questions after the event when I'll speak at something or I'll talk to somebody, and I realize that I glossed over some really important facts that people just didn't, frankly, know. And so I figured I would go over some of the key things that people ask me questions about, and hopefully alleviate some confusion that might exist with Lawrence County. To begin with, we are structured like pretty much every board or organization that you can imagine. There are 5 commissioners, and then we have 2 direct reports to us. And that's going to be Brian Rogers, the county administrator, and Billy Kite, the county attorney. Most people, when they come to me with a problem, they think that I can wave my hand like a king and it just magically happens. Oh, you're the commissioner, well, you can just do such and such. Well, unfortunately, that is absolutely not the way that it works. The name of the game is not, waving my hand, but gaining consensus. If I don't have 2 other commissioners with me to achieve a goal, then, I'm not a guy who's leading a group of people. If you don't have people with you, you're just a guy taking a walk. And so you got to have 2 other people. And so it's not about making decisions and snapping your fingers. It's about building consensus. We have Brian Rogers and Billy Kite, and they are the ones that manage all of the other staff that work for Lawrence County. This is just a very small number of folks, but I want to give you guys kind of the department heads that report directly to Brian every single day. So the county is also broken up into several authorities and various boards over which we have little or no control oftentimes. So I'll start with authorities. Authorities like the Recreation Authority, the Landfill, the Solid Waste Authority, or the Development Authority, which I think he spoke a couple of months ago. These guys were created by the city and the county, usually together, and then they govern themselves. And so oftentimes they will take some direction from the county or the city, but for the most part, they are tasked with governing themselves and achieving their goals independent of the county and the city. Also, you can see here the Tax Assessors Board. The county appoints members to the Tax Assessors Board. Everyone got that reeval last year that hurt everybody's feelings. Well, the Tax Assessors Board is the one that did that. The county appoints those board members, and then they kind of tell us what they need to do and when they need to do it. Constitutional officers. This includes the clerk of courts, the probate judge, the sheriff, and the tax commissioner. We fund these constitutional officers, but they are completely independent of the commission, and these are oftentimes the people that, when I'll get a call, that I'll direct them to the specific constitutional officers. And on the other organizations you see there on the far right, the one I really want to point out more than any other one is the health department. I have people call me every single week complaining about the Lawrence County Health Department. It is not a part of Lawrence County at all. That is a huge misnomer. That is a subcomponent of the state of Georgia. And so the only thing about Lawrence County is the place where it's located. And so I just want to make some of those things clear because these are things that I get questions about. It's got to be every single week. Okay, so what is Lawrence County? Lawrence County is the 4th largest county in the entire state, and I have the populations of the 7 towns and cities that exist here in Lawrence County, and that population totals just over 20,000 people. Now, Lawrence County has 50,000 people overall, which means that the remainder, that other 30,000 people, are in the unincorporated parts of the county. So we have quite a bit of sprawl here in the 4th largest county in the state, and we have a responsibility for just over 1,100 linear miles of road. That's dirt roads, that's paved roads, and this is how we divide ourselves up. You can see that green blob right there. That is Commissioner Jeff Davis's district. He's got the most condensed, heavily populated district. The light blue in the center, that is District 1. That's Miss Brenda Chain. That's the second most densely populated. The top pink area is north part of Lawrence County. That's Jimmy Rogers. Kevin Tanner is on the east side in yellow. And Go Raiders, I'm down on the bottom in blue. Okay, so how do we judge ourselves? And that's a really, really tough thing to do. People complain to me more than anything else about roads. But roads are tough because you have to have, as I tell people all the time, you have to have good weather, good people, and good equipment, or you don't have good roads. And you have to have all those at one time. And a lot of times we have no control over those factors. But what do we have control over? At the end of the day, we can control how efficient we are. And so the millage rate is an excellent indicator of how efficient we are as an organization. So every year I make a millage rate study that basically is our scorecard for how we fare compared to other counties in the state of Georgia. And you can see on the right here in blue, we're at 7.157 in 2021. And that puts us at less than 50% the average millage rate of all the surrounding counties. So we are highly, highly efficient. Now, when I say millage rate, that's just the county. I'm not talking about the Department of Education. I'm not talking about the boards of education. That's just the county government itself. I also go a step further, as you can see right here on the left, and I compare Lawrence County to other counties in the state of Georgia. There's 159 counties in the state of Georgia, and we fall as the 11th cheapest millage rate in the entire state, which is really, really awesome. But this doesn't tell the whole story, because I also put a couple of columns over here for where our population falls and what the area is that we are required to cover. And so I'm going to draw your attention to the number one county that has the lowest millage rate, Fannin County, at 3.8 mills. Fannin County has a population of about half of what we have here in Lawrence County, but they have more than half of the millage rate. If you look at their area, they're at less than half of the land area that we have in Lawrence County, but again, they have more than half of the millage rate that we have in Lawrence County. My point is, there's no way that you can slice this that does not show that Lawrence County, mile for mile, acre for acre, is the most efficient county in the entire state of Georgia with your tax dollars. So I'm really proud of that. This is the scorecard we do every single year, and this is something you can find on our website. Now, this website has gone through 2 different revisions since I've been a commissioner, because we can't count on 13WMAZ, and God knows we can't count on Facebook to tell the story that we're trying to get out to the public. And so the only real one-stop shop that you're going to find that's going to be good to get all the information to you is going to be our website. You can come here, you can report a concern, you can find out different things that are going on in the community, and you can go to various commissioners' websites and see various projects that are going on. And that's also where I publish my tax study every year. Okay, so I want to jump real quick to one of those authorities I spoke about before, and in this case it would be the Recreation Authority. The Recreation Authority is a bit of a hodgepodge. 3 members from Lawrence County, 3 members from the city of Dublin, and there's 1 joint appointee. So it's truly a group effort to run the Recreation Authority. And as you can see, Brian Millett's done a fantastic job. That's all the activities that are, I guess, mainstream activities, and the number of kids that are currently participating in each of those activities. So there's a whole lot going on. I would not have imagined that 5 years ago Lawrence County would have something like track and field or travel soccer, but here we are. It's pretty awesome. So when we talk about Southern Pines, and Southern Pines is not all that the Rec Authority does, but it's really our focal point. The number of teams that show up to Southern Pines really has maxed out at around 115, with the average before COVID being around 35 teams or so every single weekend. But that's changed radically since the end of COVID and since we have started turfing fields. In fact, this coming weekend, starting tomorrow, we're going to have 68 teams. Next weekend, 72 teams. And we're going to have people pretty much every weekend there through the entire summer. I think I mentioned this once before, the women's various women's softball events happen. We've got one in May that's going to have 60-plus teams for 3 weekends. And then the Fall World Series for softball is going to happen with over 100 teams in November of this year. And so that's tremendous. But those are just numbers. Those numbers really have a huge impact on how we operate here in Dublin and Lawrence County. So GRPA is the Recreation Authority of the state of Georgia. And it tells us what that economic impact is to the communities where we have recreational activities. And they give us this complicated formula, and we thought that, we're not Atlanta, we're not Savannah, this is a bit rich. So we scaled ours down to make it a little more realistic for us. And we do raw numbers. We count the actual number of participants down to the person who shows up, and we multiply that number times 85, and that gives us what we believe is a very, very conservative economic impact number, which for the month of March was over $1 million to Dublin and Lawrence County. And so that's hotels, that's gas, that's meals, that's retail. It's all of the things that go into someone showing up for some sort of event at the Southern Pines facility. So I've got some pictures here, and they're fine, but the awesome part here is the video of what Southern Pines looks like now that we've turfed these fields. Now, it was a contentious thing. Turfing these fields was not cheap, but as you can see, making $1 million for 1 month, this thing is going to return that cash to Lawrence County very, very quickly. You can see here in our drone footage the Southern Pines Water Park. We've got about 1.5 acres or so that we can expand on that, and that's something we're looking at doing in the near future. At Splash in the Borough, we've been informed from their progress that you have to put new things into a water park, a feature of some kind, every 4 to 5 years, or it becomes stagnant. So we've reached that point, and we're going to be adding stuff to the water park very soon. You can see these are the normal soccer fields. At the time of the recording, we didn't have the turfed soccer field, but that's been done now. All of the turfing is done, and that's put us at somewhere around 70 teams or so, all the way up into the fall when it jumps up to 100. We've done quite a bit of work over here. I don't think a single year at Southern Pines has passed without some major capital improvements. We had our detention pond that was doing nothing. Now we've got 1/3 of a mile track around it. And then, I don't see Dr. Avery in the room, but he is particularly proud of the pickleball courts. That was a labor of love for sure, and we got the windscreens up, so that has been wildly popular. Pickleball has become a thing now. Everyone loves pickleball, so we've accommodated all of those folks. And we're fixing to consider expanding our RV area right over here by the Ag Center. And so at Southern Pines, you can see a ton is going on all the time, and it's really hard to kind of capture all of those activities, but I think this gives us a broad overview of kind of what it looks like on the ground today. Okay, so I've had at least 3 people ask me why I bring up the landfill, and so I want to tell you why I bring up the landfill when I speak about this, when I do the county updates. The landfill is a separate authority, just like the Development Authority, just like the Recreation Authority, and this is probably, beyond the Recreation Authority and the Development Authority, one of the major drivers of economic activity in Lawrence County. We have an amazing landfill. We do things here that almost no other place in the state of Georgia does. So it's easy to find a landfill that takes household garbage. It's easy to find a landfill that does construction debris, but it's very rare to find one that does household garbage, construction, inert. We have our own composting operation. We sell concrete and gravel. These are things that no other landfill in the state of Georgia can do. We have not cobbled this together. Each of these is run by a professional certified engineer, and we are considered one of the top landfills in the entire state of Georgia, especially considering all the things that we do out here. And so, you know, it's one of those, in my opinion, the unsung hero of economic development in Lawrence County because of all the stuff that goes on out here. And, you know, the design of the landfill, and the reason I'm showing you this video is because if you've driven by a landfill, it looks like a giant mountain next to the road. Well, this was intentionally hidden off the road so that you never saw it. As you saw that video go down that long, long driveway, you could drive by it and have no idea the landfill even exists, that you even drove by it in the first place, which is amazing because we've got almost 500 acres of landfill here. You can drive by it and have no idea that there is literally 4 mountains of garbage just past some pine trees there. Okay, so this is a little bit weird. Don't throw anything at me, Josh. But I want to talk about downtown parking real quick. This is a picture you see here of the courthouse parking and then what I call the Yurpai parking, the mule parking right next to it. And we just sent a drone up just to take a picture of a Tuesday so that you would see just how packed these parking lots are. If you've had to go and pay your annual tag fee, you know how hard it is to find a parking space at one of these parking places. And parking is important to us because not only does it service the courthouse and the tag office and the commission office, but at 213 spaces in downtown Dublin, as far as lots go, Lawrence County owns more lot real estate than anyone else does in downtown Dublin. And so it's something we're trying to expand on and something that's extremely important to us as a good community member in downtown. You can see I think we call it the mule parking lot. We got the courthouse parking lot right there. And this large green area that you see right here, that's going to be the site, what I call the North Franklin parking lot. That's going to be the site of 45 more spaces. And most folks don't know this, but this parking lot right here in South Franklin is 36 spaces that the county owns as well. And as you come around the courthouse, you'll see that until you get behind Dino's and Saltwater or to the plaza, there is no centralized parking. Everything else is street parking. And so if it wasn't for the county and the county's dedication to maintaining those parking areas, it would really constrict the amount of economic activity in downtown Dublin. And so we continue to look for places to add parking so that we can be good partners and neighbors with the downtown community. And I just wanted to give you guys an update about that as well. And that is what I have. Valinda, was that short enough? Thank you. I told her yesterday how long my presentation was, and she said, "You cannot talk that long." And I said, "Yes, ma'am."
So today is what you have, and today is the best day of our lives. And if we'll live today that way, then we can go out into our community and make it a great day for business in Dublin and Lawrence County. We're adjourned. Thank you.
I'm Marcus Clements. I worked with MetLife for many years. After retiring from MetLife, Darren and I began to talk about forming an insurance agency. So Darren and I in 1999 formed Clements & King Insurance. Probably worked harder after retiring than before.
Marcus and I decided to come together, and it has been great. Health insurance is a big area. There's a lot of facets to it. We try to be the place that you can start out young and grow old into the senior insurance that you need, and we cover every area of health insurance than life insurance.
Many are influenced by what they see on TV or what they see online. We provide an alternative to that. We have an office, and we try to help our clients navigate the confusing market of Medicare-related products.
What I would like for our clients to know, or our potential clients to know, that when you meet with us, we don't charge a fee for our service. And if you have a plan in place, and if it's better for you, we'll tell you that that's the plan you need to stay with. We're not going to push you towards something we have.
I do the Medicare-related insurance. I tell my clients that I've been 65 for 11 years. People normally get Medicare when they're 65. And what we do is provide insurance to supplement their base Medicare.
So I specialize in individual health insurance or private policies, which is for people who do not have access to health insurance through their job or where they work. And I also specialize in group insurance for small businesses. The majority of small businesses are family businesses, and so we're a family business, and we understand the struggles that they have and the opportunities that they have. So we really enjoy working with them from one family to another.
55 years ago when I started in the insurance business, never would I imagine that one day I'd be working with my son-in-law and I'd have the granddaughter coming in.
When I first started, I would sit in on several of the appointments with my granddad, and I witnessed many clients come in and they were just overwhelmed with the idea of senior insurance. And I have seen the way that my granddad, being so knowledgeable about it and being so personal, and caring so much about the clients, he's able to just turn that around and they leave the office just with this weight off their shoulders. I have learned not just about insurance, but how to treat the people in our community and how to make sure that they know that we're there for them from the beginning of the sale until just the rest of our time with them as our client.
And so Allison is now with us. We're very excited about that. She is primarily focused on Medicare with Marcus, but she does a lot of life insurance.
So I work with clients of all ages. I have people my age who are just getting married and having kids, and they want to get a policy on them or a whole life policy on their toddler to have as they age. But I also see clients that are older that are maybe looking for a final expense policy. I get to see clients at many different seasons of their lives.
I love to wake up in the morning and help people. And that's what we do. We don't just sell insurance, we help people.
The community has been very good to us, and Darren and I try our best to give back to the community.
We try our best to give back because we have been very blessed. The people of Lawrence County and the city of Dublin have received us well, and we're very grateful for that.
I just love Dublin. This has always been home for me. My dad and my granddad do what they love, and it's a blessing to join them in it.
We live here, we worship here, and we see our clients at the grocery store, or at church, or in the community, or downtown. We're here, we're local, and we service what we sell all year long. We'll continue to do that without charge, and just a big thank you to be able to live and work in this community.